From this graphic, we can derive or reconstruct every imaginable symptom. It's therefore very important to read this graphic, and to be able to interpret it correctly. This graphic represents every vegetative coordinate combination, in which we can find ourselves at any time of our life. No matter if it is day or night. No matter whether healthy, whether conflict active, whether in a healing phase, or just having become healthy again at the end of the healing phase. And whether just before, during, or after any conceivable crisis. In other words, this chart describes our current actual state. In our further consideration, we leave the voluntary nervous system entirely out of it. From now on, and in Germanische Heilkunde, fundamentally, it is only about the involuntary vegetative nervous system, which cannot be voluntarily controlled. But now, dear student, you will learn to understand how to willfully control the involuntary vegetative nervous system, and thus these special programs, like cancer, chronic diseases, allergies, and psychoses. On the x-axis, we have plotted time. So Monday, Tuesday or February, March, April, and so on. On the y-axis, we have plotted the intensity of the stress aspect. That is the sympathetic nervous system activity, toward the top, and downward the intensity of the resting aspect. That is the vagus, or vagatonic nervous system activity. In stress, the brain, the heart, and the musculature are innervated. And the digestive system is at rest. Conversely, in vagatonia, the digestive apparatus is innervated, and the ergotropic organs are at rest. If we are healthy, then the normal day-night rhythm is present. During the daytime one is sympathicatonic. One has to work or go hunting. One has constricted vessels and rather cool hands. At night we are vagatonic. Here the body draws new energies. Now we have wide vessels and warmer extremities. Let us now discuss the biological conflict shock. The first biological law of nature is also called the iron rule of cancer. Yet, it also applies to those diseases that one would not precisely call cancer, such as the common cold, paralysis, neurodermatitis, and so on. In other words, it applies to those diseases that arise by themselves. The iron rule of cancer has 3 criteria. The first criterion is: every sensible biological special program of nature, SBS, arises with the DHS, Dr.Hamer syndrome. That is a very severe, highly acute dramatic, and isolating conflict experience shock, which catches us on the wrong foot, simultaneously on 3 levels. The psyche level, the brain level, and the organ level. The second criterion is: at the moment of the DHS, the biological conflict content determines both the localization of the SBS in the brain, as a so-called Hamer focus, and the localization in the organ. The third criterion is: the course of the SBS is synchronous on all 3 levels. Psyche, brain, organ. From the DHS through conflict resolution, conflictolysis, and epileptoid crisis, to renormalization of the day-night rhythm. What does this mean, and what do these terms mean? The sensible biological special program. As we will see later in the 5th biological law of nature, Mother Nature does nothing good or evil. She only does that which is meaningful. Since we are part of this nature, there can be nothing evil in our bodies. The biological sense of what is happening in our body can be understood when we try to understand the history of the development of humanity. In the end, everything is wonderfully ordered. It is not the symptom that one should be afraid of, but rather one should pay attention to the cause of the symptom. Before, in the long outdated conventional medicine, one knew almost nothing about the causes of diseases, except for a fracture of the leg. But these causes of disease we now understand by understanding of the first biological law of nature. The Dr.Hamer syndrome.
Germanische Heilkunde is considered the greatest discovery in the history of humanity, by those people who have understood its underlying principle. While classical medicine is based on more than 5,000 hypotheses, the Germanische Heilkunde can be considered as the only medicine which is scientifically verifiable. With Germanische Heilkunde, for the first time in the history of humanity as we know it, there is a medicine with which any patient case can be reproduced in a strictly scientific manner. More than 30 different universities have already confirmed this in the past. Nevertheless, The discovery of Dr.Hamer has been suppressed and denigrated for over 30 years. Take your health into your own hands, and learn about Germanische Heilkunde, while you are still healthy. Helmut Pilhar, one of 3 lecturers, officially appointed by Dr. Hamer for Germanische Heilkunde, offers you an extensive and complete seminar collection for this purpose, which is now also to be translated into the English language. This knowledge will change your view of conventional medicine forever. You can find a direct link to Helmut Pilhar's seminar videos in the description below this video.